The voice of a place can be lonely. It can be forbidding. And I want to be able to hear it. In reviewing what I've done over the years, it's quite obvious that I am drawn to the patterns that geological forces and wind and erosion make in the Earth's surface. Those become the structure for my paintings. When I set out on a particular hiking trail, I usually have no clear idea of what it is I'm going to see. It's kind of a leap of faith. But when I see it, I know it. If I come up over a rise and I see a vista that just grabs me and I feel it right here, and if I had to put a word to that feeling, it would be this. The climbing, sometimes hiking uphill for hours, sometimes hiking out over slippery rocks to get to the edge. All of that physicality becomes really an integral part of the whole experience for me. And it's also something that I remember later, much later, when the painting is finished and I look at it and I can still recall how thin the air was and how difficult it was to breathe, or how I just barely managed to get a sketch in before the rain started pouring down, or how my legs were just aching by the time I got to the top. That is an important building block for the whole sense of the painting. I spent just under 3 years living on a very remote island off the northwest coast of British Columbia. It was a life in which nature was right there in our faces, making demands. And if you didn't do something right, then you wouldn't eat, or you'd be cold. What I gained in that wilderness experience was a kind of resilience that I'd never had before, a sense of self-reliance that was also new to me. I sit, I stare, I draw. In my pack, I'm carrying a travel notebook and watercolors and pencils. If it's possible, I sit, I do a drawing. I might do a watercolor sketch if it isn't raining. And I also write words in my journal, words that will help me evoke the experience when I get back into the studio. When I return to my studio, which is often weeks after the experiences that I've had, I go through a process that walks me back into the trip, like walking backwards. I assemble all of the photographs I took and just review the trip, review the feelings, and that is when I begin to draw. And I do just plain graphite drawings in the studio that will become the preparatory drawings for actual paintings. At that point, I move to the large canvas. I know what I want the painting to say. I know what its voice should be. What I have to keep in the back of my mind is, what was this place about for me? What was it I was really feeling when I was there? And is it coming through?